Hi everyone, welcome back to my magical little corner of the internet. In today's speed build, we'll be going back to my fairy core roots. We will be heading back to the main valley to decorate a sweet little fairy core nook for the Teapot garden house. I was pleasantly surprised at the small footprint of this dainty little house, and since it seems almost designed to go along with Tinkerbell's house, I tucked it away in the spring portion of my Four Seasons meadow, right next to Tink. Whether you're here for cozy background video while you're working on your own valley, or if you're looking for inspo, please consider liking and subscribing for more speed builds and tours, tips and tricks, and touch of magic tutorials. If you've already subscribed, thank you. So let's get to designing. We'll be starting off with a pathing. Since I'm going for a more natural English garden feel to this build, I decided that I was going to start off with the leaf-strewn path. Now, if you want to use a path that has a little less contrast, I also think that the loose gravel path would be really pretty here. And of course, since we don't have rounded paths yet, of course, this kind of looks like harsh angles to start, but we're going to be softening it with a custom touch of magic cobblestone path. Disclaimer, the game was doing that weird thing where it adds random shapes to touch of magic cobblestones. So even though it looks like this, the stones actually look much better than this, as you'll see in the final walkthrough. I'm going to space these out a bit so that we can use the plumeria path to make it look as if flowers are strewn between the cobblestones. I'm going to add these stone walls in now just to get a feel for the spacing of the path. We might move them later. And if you don't want to use Touch of Magic path here, the garden path from the Oasis Star path would work really well with this build. And also the rocky terrain item that you can get from Scrooge would work well too. But if you do want this custom cobblestone path that I created, let me know in the comments and we can arrange a valley visit. So now, like I said, we're going to go ahead and add the plumeria petals in between the cobblestones. I really want this to feel like a dainty and slightly overgrown English garden out of a fairy tale, and the white petals against the leaf-strewn path just feels like the perfect combination. We're going to go off a little to the right here with the petals to meet up with the pathing to Tinkerbell's house. We'll also take the path off to the left here so that we can start to create a little path that edges along the pond behind the house. In the front, we'll extend the petals out to meet up with the existing walkway, kind of spilling out from the front fencing. I know I already put these down, but I just adore these stone fences with the roses. They're so quaint. They're just perfect for an English garden look. If you've watched my videos, you know I really love clutter and cozy little nooks while I'm building, but I do want to make sure that my builds are accessible from multiple sides so that I can get around my valley. So we're going to keep a few openings in the stone fence on the left side of the build. And this entrance we're going to frame off with these mossy jungle trees. I love these for my fairy core builds because they look so cute and whimsical with the moss growing on the trunks. And they also have branches that bend in such a way to just kind of create a little arch over the path. For the front entrance, we're going to start using some of the new Star Path items. Now, if you've watched my fairy core content or my streams, you'll already know just how obsessed I am with the color purple. So I'm using the purple blooming banner here and the purple wheelbarrow. And the color palette that we're going for with this build is kind of a delicate white and green to match the house. So adding in purple and fuchsia elements will give us that pop of color that I like to include in my build. I love these cute little signs that we got with the Alice update, so we're going to add one here too at the front entrance just for a bit of whimsy. And we'll use a set of craftable atrium candles from the Storybook Vale update to just add some lighting here. Of course, it wouldn't be a fairy build without these golden felt cap mushrooms, so we're going to add one here at the entrance as well, and you'll see I'll be scattering these throughout the build later. To create the slightly overgrown look, I'm going to be adding in some beach grass in a few places. This pink fairy garden chair from the Star Path is everything. The vine climbing up the side of the trunk and the pink moss is just so pretty. They really gave us the most beautiful things for this Star Path. It's definitely my favorite, obviously, but Dapper Delights is not far behind. Okay, I'm gonna make a few adjustments here. It wouldn't be an English tea garden without a tea table, so we're going to use this cute little mushroom fairy garden table here on the right side to set up a pixie tea party. And because I'm obsessed with water features, we're going to put the tea party right next to a waterfall. I was tempted to use the fairy garden chairs here at the table, but I really like the look of the tree stumps for seating. I just wish we were actually able to use these as seating and not like as a tree item. One of my favorite things is that the plumeria and magnolia pathing can go on tables. It's such a pretty touch and it really enhances the pretty spiderweb tablecloth on the mushroom table. And I love that with the new mini grid on tables, we can now put items right in the center. To force perspective a little bit more and make it feel like a real fairy garden, I'm going to add this giant clover from the Bugs Life collection. The items in this bundle are just so cute. I've been scattering them throughout my valley. They're just perfect for fairy core builds. Okay, so moving on to the back of the build. As I mentioned, I want to create a path that kind of winds along the little pond back here. Now, I would have preferred to include the pond in the front of the build, but honestly, for me, I just felt like it was more important to have the Teapot house next to Tink's house. But if you're following along and you want to move this entire build back so that you could put the pond in the front, I'm sure it will turn out absolutely gorgeous. I cannot get enough of these arches. I think it's going to look really dreamy from the front of the build to see the flowers just hanging down from the arch back here. For the last item in this back section, I'm going to add the craftable Eternity Isles swing chair. I really want to create a cozy, intimate little nook next to the pond, and this swing chair is such a cute item to just tuck away behind the arch. Now for the recording of this, I just extended the path until it met up with the path for my Valley Library. But to make the whole thing feel like a sectioned off build, I might actually add some more of those stone rose fences right here behind the swing chair. I had originally intended to keep the leaf-strewn path to the front of the build only, but I'm going to go ahead and add it to the path along to the back. Now for lighting. We'll line the path with these atrium candles to create that dreamy, romantic sort of look along the path. For a touch of whimsy, I'm going to add these display bubbles so that we can have flying snippets in our little garden as well. With the main build done, I'm just going to add in a few more details to make it feel cozier. Now, I usually don't plan this very well, but this time I did wait until the last minute to add this tree. That way it wasn't blocking my view as I added some of the finishing touches. I love this large mossy jungle tree. It just encloses this space so perfectly here. I thought about using the cute acorn teapot from the star path on the tables, but this craftable one with the flower in it is just so pretty, and the flower inside it matches perfectly with the purple and fuchsia accent colors we chose for this build. And now for the finishing touches, snippets, glowing moss, mushrooms, and flowers. That glowing moss item is honestly one of my favorite things in the game. It's so magical, but it looks even better in this build because it goes so well with the front door of the teapot house. Add some fireflies for a little bit of extra magic, and this build is finished. Now I'll take you on a short little sunset tour of this area and my Tinkerbell area since they just go so nicely together. And I've made a few changes to my Tinkerbell area too. If you stuck around, thank you so much for watching. To all of my subscribers, your views and likes and comments are so appreciated. And to my channel members, thank you so much for being a part of the channel. I am so grateful for your incredible support. If you've enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the valley. Bye!